Welcome back to Vital Elixir, your trusted resource for aging with strength, mobility, and confidence. So picture this. You've just gotten your annual blood work back, and you're feeling pretty good about your health, right? But then, your doctor looks at the chart, frowns slightly, and says those dreaded words. Well, your LDL cholesterol's a bit high. We're gonna need to watch that. Suddenly, the panic sets in. You go home, you throw out all your eggs, you swear off cheese, and you spend the next 3 weeks stressing over every single bite of food, just worrying about your heart. It's an incredibly relatable scene for so many of us over 55. But what if I told you that the fear you're feeling right now might actually be entirely unnecessary?
Here's the honest, science-backed truth. That standard cholesterol test they just ran, it's actually based on some pretty outdated math. Ask yourself, is it possible that this decades-old test is missing the real story, kind of keeping you in the dark about your true heart health? After 55, understanding your cardiovascular risk requires looking way deeper than just that basic total cholesterol number. So in today's explainer, we're going to decode your lipid panel and reveal a hidden marker that top cardiologists are now using to get a much better picture of heart disease risk.
But first, let's clear up the absolute biggest misconception right out of the gate. Cholesterol is not the enemy. In fact, your body literally cannot live without it. For our aging bodies, it's absolutely crucial. It serves as the raw material your body uses to build cell membranes, create vitamin D, and manufacture vital hormones like estrogen, testosterone, and cortisol. And get this, here's a totally fascinating fact. While your brain makes up only about 2% of your body weight, it contains roughly 25% of your body's entire cholesterol supply. It's what helps keep your midlife brain sharp. So the problem isn't the cholesterol itself, it's how it's transported through your bloodstream. To really understand our heart health, we first have to unlearn a few things we were taught decades ago.
Let's start with what's actually sitting on your dinner plate. A huge myth is that eating cholesterol directly spikes your blood cholesterol. For decades, we were all told to avoid egg yolks and shrimp like the plague, right? Well, modern nutritional science has completely debunked this. The fact is, your liver actually produces about 80% of the cholesterol in your body. When you eat more cholesterol-rich foods, your liver smartly just downregulates its own production to keep your levels perfectly balanced. So for the vast majority of us, dietary cholesterol has almost zero impact on our blood levels. This means whole, nutrient-dense foods like eggs are generally perfectly safe and really beneficial. The yolk is packed with choline, which is an amazing nutrient your brain desperately needs to stay sharp as we age.
Now let's completely reframe our understanding of good and bad. The old myth is that LDL is always the bad guy, clogging up your arteries, and HDL is the good guy sweeping it all away. But you know, biology just isn't that black and white. LDL is simply a delivery truck. It carries essential energy and building blocks out to your cells. It really only becomes dangerous when those particles get small, dense, and oxidized. And what causes that? Usually high blood sugar and inflammation. Those small damaged particles are the ones that actually get trapped in your artery walls. And as for HDL, just having a high number doesn't actually protect you if those particles aren't functioning properly.
So what exactly is this hidden marker that top cardiologists are looking at? It's called apolipoprotein B, or ApoB for short. ApoB is a protein molecule found on the surface of every single bad cholesterol particle that has the potential to cause plaque in your arteries. Because every single one of these plaque-causing particles carries exactly one, and literally only one ApoB molecule, testing for it gives you a stunningly precise particle count.
Think of your bloodstream like a busy highway. Your standard LDL test, it only measures the total weight or volume of the cholesterol cargo on that highway. But the ApoB test actually counts the number of vehicles on the road. You could have a totally normal LDL weight, but if that cargo is packed into millions of tiny, dangerous little vehicles, your risk of a traffic jam, or in this case, plaque buildup, is incredibly high. By counting the vehicles, ApoB tells you exactly what kind of traffic you're really dealing with.
And hey, you don't just have to take my word for it. The Cleveland Clinic and leading lipidologists highlight ApoB as the most accurate predictor of cardiovascular risk, far superior to standard LDL cholesterol. At your next blood draw, you can simply ask your doctor to add an ApoB test to your panel. It's a super simple, really inexpensive blood test that transforms a cloudy, vague guess into a crystal clear picture of your true heart risk. But what if you can't get to the doctor right away? Let's look at a calculation you can do right this second.
It's called the triglyceride to HDL ratio. This ratio is a massive red flag for insulin resistance and metabolic dysfunction, which, honestly, are the true underlying drivers of heart disease for those of us over 55. To find your ratio, you simply take your triglyceride number and divide it by your HDL number. It's that easy.
Let's just walk through this math together. If your ratio is 4.0 or higher, you are likely in a high-risk zone for metabolic issues and those dangerous small, dense LDL particles we talked about. If your ratio is below 2.0, you are in great shape, and if you can get it below 1.0, your metabolism is optimal and your heart is wonderfully supported. Now listen, if you do the math and your number is high, I want you to put down the calculator and take a deep breath. Seriously, do not panic. A high number here simply means it's time to gently focus on lowering your blood sugar and reducing refined carbs. It's an empowering piece of data to have. It is absolutely not a life sentence.
Let's look at some safe, practical steps you can take right now to help lower those dangerous small particles, using everyday food and movement as your medicine. We're going to break down 3 clear, achievable lifestyle adjustments you can start today to naturally optimize your blood lipids. There are no extreme diets here, no punishing workouts, just sustainable progress to keep your independence and energy high. Step 1 is adding the soluble fiber sponge. Soluble fiber is just phenomenal for your heart. Think of it as a literal sponge in your gut. It binds to cholesterol-rich bile acids and helps escort them right out of your body. Because your body loses that bile, it naturally forces your liver to pull LDL cholesterol directly out of your bloodstream to make more. By simply eating some oats, beans, lentils, Brussels sprouts, or apples every day, you can naturally help lower your circulating cholesterol levels.
Step 2 is cutting the triggers. Remember those small, dense, dangerous LDL particles? Yeah, they don't get that way by accident. They're usually triggered by refined sugars, fructose, and ultra-processed seed oils. When you cut back on processed snacks and liquid sugars, you actually help change the physical size and shape of your LDL particles. You're transforming them from small, dense, dangerous pebbles back into large, safe, fluffy pillows just floating harmlessly through your bloodstream. And step 3 is embracing Zone 2 cardio. Now, this isn't about running marathons. It's about gentle, consistent cardiovascular movement. Brisk walking, cycling, or swimming at a comfortable pace, a pace where you can still easily hold a conversation, is the absolute sweet spot. This specific gentle type of movement directly boosts your HDL function and further helps increase your LDL particle size, giving your heart some really incredible support.
Before we wrap up this explainer, there is a vital safety note regarding your overall medical care that we absolutely must touch on. The crucial point is this: if your doctor has prescribed a statin or another lipid-lowering medication due to high genetic risk or advanced plaque, please always continue taking it. These natural strategies, the fiber, the walking, cutting the sugar, are wonderfully empowering, but they must work alongside, not instead of, your doctor's medical advice and prescriptions. Always consult your healthcare provider before making significant changes, especially if you have chronic conditions. We want you aging safely, smartly, and strongly.
I really hope this explainer has helped take some of the fear and mystery out of your lipid panel. Have you grabbed your lab results to calculate your triglyceride to HDL ratio yet? Let us know how you did in the comments below. But I want to leave you with this final thought. If standard medicine is just now catching up to the ApoB test, what other aging rules are you following right now that might be based on outdated science? To make sure you're always getting the real truth, hit that subscribe button and join our community. We are dedicated to bringing you clear, honest, science-backed truth so you can keep aging with strength, mobility, and incredible vitality. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I'll see you next time.
Thank you for your time. Subscribe for more health education. Like the video and share it to help others stay informed.